Hey everybody, DJ Rob, the Mel Guy here. I'm from KSUN Radio. I also have the website www.rockandmelzone. I run with my friend Raj Singh. And I'm going to be reviewing today an awesome album from one of rock and roll's most iconic bands, one of my favorites, Deep Purple, a band that's been around since the 60s. Can you believe it? Yes, they've had many lineups. Yes, they've had some problems with Ritchie Blackmore taking a guitar and shoving it through a camera at Cal Jam. But you know what? This band, they keep going. And that's what I love. The name Deep Purple has carried on in rock and roll history, influencing numerous bands. And a guitar player such as myself, I am a huge Ritchie Blackmore fan. And even when Ritchie Blackmore left Deep Purple for the album Come Taste the Band in 1976, I still love that album. I think Tommy Bolin came in and did a great job, the late great Tommy Bolin in his own right. Yeah, it's different. But again, the name Deep Purple is such a strong name in the music. It doesn't matter sometimes who's in Deep Purple, as long as the music still stays true to some of the early elements, but goes forward. It's awesome. And this new album, let me grab it here to show you guys. Now What? Really simple. I love it. Purple and white album cover. Now What? Awesome. Doesn't have to be too flashy. But Now What is Steve Morris on guitar. Ritchie Blackmore, of course, in 1992 didn't want to keep going with Deep Purple. He decided to quit. And then you have on keyboards Don Airey. John Lord passed away, but John Lord had not played on albums since the early 2000s. So Don Airey has been stepping in. He's done his part and been awesome for Deep Purple. And to me, there's no one better than Don Airey to come in to replace John Lord, because Don Airey's history with such bands as Rainbow, Ozzy Osbourne, Whitesnake, Cozy Powell. You have a great musician coming in, but still, there will be no one better. John Lord is one of the greatest rock and roll keyboardists of all time. But Don Airey's style and the way he plays, I still say there could be no one better. You have 3/5 though on this album, the definitive Mark II lineup. That's the lineup that played on such greats as Fireball, In Rock We Trust, and the one that I'm sure a lot of people know called Machine Head, which features a song that I believe every young guitarist wants to learn when they first get a guitar, called Smoke on the Water. Well, you have 3/5 of that Mark II lineup, Ian Gillan on vocals, and to me one of the best Deep Purple singers. Still, Glenn Hughes and David Coverdale, when they came in, were great. Joe Lynn Turner era, not too familiar with, but Ian Gillan is the definitive singer to me. And he does a great job on this album because Ian Gillan has taken care of his voice. Then the rhythm section, you have, to me, a very important part of Deep Purple in that Mark II lineup is Roger Glover, Ian Pace. Roger Glover, of course, on bass, Ian Pace handling the drums. And Ian Pace, I believe, is the one member of Deep Purple that's played on almost every single album. And he, again, is an unbelievable drummer in his own way. He's not flashy. Him and Roger Glover hold down the fort, and I believe the reason they have this quality that makes the rhythm solid and they're able to expand is because sometimes during live performances, Ritchie Blackmore would get on tirades or do some crazy stuff, and they would allow for Ritchie's volatile behavior, his virtuoso style, and even John Lord's technical style to explore, to expand, to wow. And that, over time, has just made them great, awesome, mature-sounding musicians. Musicians that, to me, you rarely come across because they practice, they're masters of their craft. At the point, they don't have to keep pushing to be flashy. They just have to feel comfortable with themselves. And the music on this album, Now What? The music is very comfortable with the sound and the style that the band's trying to go for. And still, you do have some moments where these guys will pretty much knock your socks off. Unbelievable keyboard solos and keyboard parts from Don Airey. Steve Morris is a guitar player in his own right, brings in his creative style. He's an unbelievable guitar player. I wasn't too familiar with his work, but I might start checking out more of what he's done outside of Deep Purple because I really liked his style and what he brought in Deep Purple. But I still feel he kind of follows a Ritchie-esque attitude for some of the songs, but still you get this is Steve Morris, this isn't Ritchie Blackmore coming in, and I like that. He's not trying to copy what Ritchie does exactly. the sound, the way everything's, on the Mark II lineup, all those classic albums. No, he comes in and he brings his own style. And that's what is. It's Deep Purple going forward, making unbelievable, just great, straightforward hard rock. And again, they have this technical, symphonic sometimes element to them, which I feel John Lord really made famous with Deep Purple. The ability to add classical elements and build this almost uplifting classical but still rock and roll feel to it. It's the blues meets classic rock. And the first 3 songs on this album to me just seal the deal. In a way, it's like a 1, 2, 3 knockout punch. You start out with this song, it's called A Simple Song, and at first it is very simple, very mellow. Ian Gillan's vocals over this very mellow, quiet atmosphere. And then it just explodes into this jam, like this really good jam and hard rock and roll that I love. It has that early 70s feel to it. Keyboard and guitar playing is dueling, matching, just making awesome sounding riffs. The rhythm section is grooving, and then it, in the end slows back down again. But I love that, the ability to change tempos unexpectedly. And that's what rock and roll is about, the unexpected, being, shocked, like, wow. And the musicianship and Ian Gillan's vocals really give this album a classic feel, but still going forward with what this lineup is about. And then on the next song, Weirdistan, I feel it reminds me the most of Space Trucking. The kind of extraterrestrial groove and jam and just rock and roll. The keyboard offering a very unique sounding riff. The awesome playing of Steve Morris shining on this album is definitely on Weirdistan. His tones change throughout the song. It's a really great song. And again, Ian Gillan's vocals painting this picture, these very, to me, the lyrics have such substance that even when you think, oh, it's just a simple lyric, it starts to resonate in my mind like there's something more to it. And it's just got a really grooving feel to it. The next song, Out of Hand, I really like because I feel it's a statement. It's an angry song, but at the same time, it's still being sophisticated, which Deep Purple is all about. It's hard rock, but sometimes questioning, sometimes bringing up really good themes. The band is not too simple, but it's not too out there. It's just the right balance. And the song itself is well structured. It's a journey to me. It starts out with a very mellow, again, you have this build up by the keyboard playing. Don Airey, he's such a great, when it comes to building up songs. It really heightens your ability and you're listening, you're thinking, well, what's going to happen next? And the riffs, again, Steve Morris, Roger Glover, Ian Pace, putting out music that just, it's like a palette for an artist to just pretty much do what they want, go crazy with. And it's a masterpiece in the end. And then, again, after those 1, 2, 3 knockout punch songs, you have one of my favorite songs on the album, Hell to Pay, a groove and really just driving rock and roll song. And Ian Gillan's vocals just sound so gnarly and just very angry, but at the same time very soothing at points. In the chorus, I love the idea. It's rebellious, what the rebellion's all about. And that to me is Deep Purple, still saying, yeah, we're getting old, but you know what, we're still angry, we're still rocking hard rock, guys. Doesn't slow them down. Gotta love it. Now, a song on here I really want to focus on, and it didn't affect the album. I want to bring this up. I'm not saying that the album, I was pissed off at this song or this song wasn't great. It just threw me off guard because the song Bodyline, it's got like a funk bass to it, very grooving, head, bopping song, and the keyboards and even the guitar playing got this kind of down and dirty, sleazy rock feel to it. And as I bring up the funk bass, it kind of reminds me of the Mark IV lineup, the album Come Taste the Band with Tommy Bolin on guitar. It's got funk to it, and it's kind of cool. I like it. It's not my favorite song on the album, but it's not like it's horrible. It's unique. It's distinctive, which Deep Purple is known to do. They're known to make songs that are very distinctive and creative. And sometimes it's not gonna. You'll be thinking this song doesn't really fit with the full album. I don't know. I think that's Deep Purple's style. They've always been like that. They love to make rock and roll, but explore different elements. And that's what the different lineups have done, is give Deep Purple this huge identity that you can't just say, this defines Deep Purple without question. No, and Bodyline's a great example of that. And then there's songs after Bodyline that kind of remind me of Perfect Strangers. If you haven't checked that out, do it. It's when the Mark II lineup reformed in 1984 and put out an awesome, just to me it was contemporary. A lot of people said, oh, Deep Purple is trying to sound mainstream. No, Deep Purple is trying to sound mellower, but still incorporate what they loved in that 70s. The ability to push boundaries, influence bands to pretty much explore rock and roll, add classical elements into your music, add groove and elements into your music, add, like in Child of Time, you know, be mellow at first and then explode and then make just crazy riffing music. Deep Purple really does that on the song Blood, excuse me, I gotta see this here, Blood from a Stone. That song to me was Deep Purple sounding mellow, but at times there's this hint of technical awareness where they're still exploring. I love this song. It's awesome. And I had to use the album to look at it because it's just overwhelming how many great songs are on this album. And now time to talk about the song that to me sells the album here. This song, I'm telling you, could be the best song in 2013 right now. And I'm talking about All the Time in the World. If you have not heard this single, check out this song first, and you will automatically be drawn to wanting to listen to this album, because that song is so good. It's well constructed, well written, it's soothing. Ian Gillan's vocals glide over the music. The riff is not too heavy, but it's not too mellow. It's still got this very Deep Purple-esque quality to it, while sounding a bit contemporary. The grooving chorus has a very jangly feel to it. That's what I love about it. And you're listening to music that's just awesome. It's great. It's just straightforward. And then the guitar solo is out of this world to me, because it's not extremely flashy, but it has this quality. The notes ring out perfectly. The exaggeration, Steve Morris, the way he ties patterns together is so fluid. It just glides over. He's just flowing through that guitar and making great music. And I'm a huge fan of Ritchie Blackmore, and as a guitar player I really look up to Ritchie. But hearing Steve Morris on this album, I just was blown away by how amazing he is as a guitar player. And I feel that some people that are upset, okay, yeah, Ritchie's not in the band, but Steve Morris is such a great player, I feel it makes up for it, because he brings in this style that just has a mesmerizing effect, and it makes Deep Purple still sound like the band they are, and they're just awesome music. The last song on this album, Vincent Price, great song, has a kind of gimmicky feel to it, but no, Deep Purple incorporates their own style, their own attitude, and the lyrics are talking, of course, about Vincent Price, the famous horror actor. Love this song because I'm a huge Vincent Price fan too, which kind of helped out. But just a really sick song because you have these eerie keyboard parts that make it sound like a horror movie's going on. Ian Gillan's vocals just really making like this whole production. But as I said, it's not too gimmicky. It's not like that band Ghost where you're feeling like, okay, these guys think they believe it. No, it's just great music, well, mature, thought out lyrics with awesome musicianship accompanying it. Now What is produced by Bob Ezrin, and I can say that the production on this is so great that it makes just musicianship stand out even more. And Bob Ezrin, he's worked with guys such as Alice Cooper and Kiss. Not only has he worked with Kiss, he worked on Kiss with some of their bigger albums. And this album, to me, jumps out. It has such a great quality, and Bob Ezrin, again, did a great job capturing Deep Purple, what they sound like now, but Deep Purple did a great job portraying the current lineup's attitude, the musical style. Congratulations to Deep Purple. The fact that they are able to take the name and put it forward with music that you can tell, are really into. There's nothing cheesy, there's nothing that's subpar about this. They didn't make songs to make songs. No, they put so much consideration for detail into this album that Now What, from top to bottom, is an unbelievable feel. It's a great album, and right now it's one of my favorite albums of 2013. As I said, the song All the Time in the World, it's so catchy, it sticks in your head. And when I play on the radio, I have my listeners, I told them, I can't stop listening to this song. And guess what? I had a listener tell me, hey, I can't stop listening to this song either. And that, to me, quality, when a band does that, it's awesome. And I'm really glad that Deep Purple is still going and they're making songs that people just can enjoy. I feel that people just pigeonhole Deep Purple to Smoke on the Water. And look, at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ignores them. But you know, Deep Purple's history, the fans that really love them, they love all the lineups, even if, hey, something doesn't sound exactly like the Mark II. Deep Purple fans aren't going to get bent out of shape. They love the sound, they love the drive of this band, and Now What is a testament to Deep Purple's amazing history. This band is rock and roll history, plain and simple, people. Check out Now What, check out all the early Deep Purple albums too. The Mark II lineup is still one of their greatest lineups, but then the Mark III lineup's awesome, the Mark IV, Perfect Strangers, and then if you want to hear just a band going forward, taking some of their early eras, bring it to the modern day, and just making great rock and roll, Now What is worth checking out. It's worth spending your money. Deep Purple, a band who deserves so much more credit in America, I feel sometimes. They will get it one day, because there is no denying that this album and the music that Deep Purple cumulatively has come up with, unbelievable. Deep Purple, awesome band. Now What? Rating 9 out of 10 without question. And again, I don't want to give it 10 out of 10 because to me that would be like saying that's the best album of the year. This is one of the albums that's definitely going to be in running for when I make my best albums of 2013. So check it out, Deep Purple, Now What. DJ Rob the Mill Guy signing out here. Going to go listen to some more Deep Purple. Cannot wait. Love this album. Probably put on Hell to Pay. That's my favorite song. So later, everybody. DJ Rob the Mill Guy signing out.